He looked me up and down and he said, "You are so beautiful, but there's literally nothing in here." The complete honest situation, you can go on OF as anyone, but the girl that was running the agency was really, really bad. And I come from a customer service background and I was like, I could do this 10 times better. And he instantly said, do it. So she was earning 1.5k. We got her to 5k in the first month.
Wow.
I'm so proud of what I've built. Oh my God, I'm gonna get a bit emotional. This has been such a life-changing thing for me.
Hi, hello, and welcome to the new episode of the Butterfly Effect podcast. Today in our studio, always very special guest, Francesca, a woman in business, a person who went through a pretty big transformation journey, especially for her age, who been in a very low moments, in a very high moments, and at the moment, she is a person who's running a whole agency throughout countries, helping other women to build their careers, to build their wealth in the best conditions possible. And today, this episode will be very useful and very interesting for everyone who's struggling with society pressure, with people-pleasing personality, with desire to be good for everyone and losing yourself in the process, and for any kind of woman who's chasing not only success, but a healthy way and form of success. I think it was a good representation.
That was amazing. I couldn't have asked you to do that any better. So thanks. Thank
so
you.
much. Very happy to see you today with us.
I am so excited to be here.
Me too. Me too. I think this episode will be amazing. And we will begin as always with my most favorite question ever. Who you are.
Oh, what a brilliant question.
Yeah, tell me and us who you are from the perspective of your transformation, who you were before and who you are now.
Okay. So people that don't know me, I am Francesca. I own a management agency and I am someone that has gone through a lot of changes, especially in the past sort of, I'd probably say 10 years. I'm 29 and from dropping out of university to now being my own business owner, which I never thought that I would have done that. I've always had a lot of confidence, but I never kind of felt like I could have been a business owner. I've always doubted my intelligence, for one. And I've always had the idea that women aren't very good in business, whereas I have completely changed my mindset about that drastically. So I'm definitely someone that is still on a lot of a self-reflection journey. I'm someone that is trying not to be the people pleaser that I was before, but I'm also someone that is always trying to better myself and going through a lot. Like, the self-development journey that everyone is on isn't just an easy road. And I feel like I've been doing this for the past 10 years, definitely, through highs and lows, ups and downs.
So put us into the context of your life before, where you were growing up, what kind of family, what actually gave you this mindset of women are not for business. I am not smart enough. I'm not going to succeed in this life. And my destiny, my future is kind of like pre-predicted for me.
Yeah, I think one huge point for me, I never enjoyed education. So going back into education and going to university was something that I don't know why I did that. I shouldn't have decided that that was the route that I should have gone down. But when I went to, so I decided that I wanted to be an acting student. I wanted to be on screen. I wanted to be an actress. And the tutor that I had at the actual academy said something to me that really kind of changed my perspective of myself. He looked me up and down and he said, "You are so beautiful, but there's literally nothing in here." And it was harsh because I mean he could be like that. He was the tutor for the whole school, but I really took that as actually he is right. I'm kind of on autopilot. I'm not very conscious. I do depend on my looks a lot. Well, did. Obviously not now. I kind of felt like my looks could have got me through life before even thinking about being educated or being an intelligent woman. So when that happened, I actually dropped out of university. I took that really, really harshly and went the other way. I had this victim mentality that I wasn't good enough for the world and the world was against me. I'll never accomplish anything. I didn't have a career, obviously, because I had this acting dream that never came. And I just thought, well, what the hell am I going to do now? But then I got into really bad habits with work. I was working in like UK call centres, and any UK listeners will understand the hostility of an environment like that. It's really not good for you. It's quite a depressive place to work.
It's like the lowest of the low.
Yeah, it's it's not an environment that you will ever feel uplifted in, personally anyway. I wouldn't go as far as slave labor, but it's definitely somewhere where you'd never be able to thrive. And I think the kind of people that work there, it's still like an educational environment. They think that they can tell you what to do, even though you are an adult, you're not a child anymore. So I was kind of in that industry and not really enjoying work, and I wasn't happy in myself either, because I kind of had this mentality that the world was against me and I didn't have many friends. I was on such a low vibrational frequency in my life that I was just attracting everything wrong that could have gone in my life. So then when I actually started to delve a little deeper into myself, whilst I was working in the call center, I started working for a network marketing company. So I basically joined a pyramid scheme, and they were the first kind of people that introduced me into manifestation and really opened my eyes to the world of self-development, self-reflection, meditation. And I'd never done any of that before. And this is me. I quit uni at about 18. I was probably between 19, 20 years old at this point. So still a child.
Still a baby.
Still a baby. And this was literally me being introduced into this whole realm of ideology that you can make anything happen, but if you think about it, but you need to put the work in. And I think that's where a lot of people get lost in manifestation. They think, oh, if you just think these things, it's going to happen. No, you've got to put the work in. So when I did start to read things like The Secret and stuff like that, it all just started to click. And I really did change my mindset about myself and what I was projecting into the world and what I was attracting. And everything just kind of went like a 180. Everything just kind of turned around for me. I ended up quitting my call center job. I was doing a night course at the same time in hairdressing. So I started working in a hairdressing shop, started working in a salon, and it was the best job ever. Like, I had the nicest clients around me, the nicest people. I was gaining so many more friendships, and I could tell that my mood was being uplifted and good things were happening. So I feel like being introduced to that really changed me as a person, changed my exterior world. I mean, I, at 18 years old, decided that I was going to take a £5,000 loan out from a bank and get a boob job. As you could probably tell, it didn't happen. And I just wasted the money. I didn't do anything with it, but I felt like that would have made me feel better. That having those boobs would have made me feel better. Having that breast augmentation would have made me feel so much happier in life, when actually it was nothing to do with my external. It was my internal that needed the work. So how I started to speak to myself and everything that I was kind of changing in myself from the inside out has completely changed my life. Like, I used to think that everything was against me, the world was against me, people was against me, nobody had good intentions for me, when actually it was just negative self-talk that I needed to control as a child.
What you're describing is, I think it's very familiar to most of the people who's listening. You've been stuck in a 9 to 5, been stuck in this matrix and the reality that sucks you in so fast.
Yeah.
And on some point you really understand, I live on the autopilot. I'm not even making decisions for myself anymore.
No.
And it makes you feel absolutely miserable.
100%, I couldn't agree more.
So you found yourself being in this state, sucked into the matrix, living in a miserable state. What you did, 1, 2, 3, very practical, that any other person who's listening right now and feel aligned with the story can do, like right now.
To change the circumstances?
At least start the change.
Oh my goodness. The first thing that you need to do, I would definitely say, is get out of your head and into your body. You need to be active, either walking, going to the gym, some kind of yoga, stretching, anything that is going to loosen those limbs, because you do hold a lot of that in your body, which people don't really understand and relate to. If you are in like a negative kind of space, get out of there. You definitely need to separate yourself from the environment that you're in if you're not in a healthy environment.
Cut toxic people.
Yeah, 100%. The people around you. I did this. So my previous relationship to the one that's just ended, I was in for 6 years, and the boyfriends were all friends, the girlfriends were all friends. I removed myself from that group chat because I never felt heard. I never felt like I had friends. And doing that, taking myself out of that negative environment, because those people weren't my friends, they were just acquaintances, and I felt like I had to overperform to keep them happy, and I couldn't do it. I literally couldn't do it. So that was one of the first steps that I did, removing the toxicity from my life in the form of people. What you consume as well is really important. If you are consuming things like Netflix all the time, and this is not to say that you can't wind down and watch Netflix, but what I'm trying to say is if you are someone that is in that self-development era, you need to be understanding what you are consuming in everyday life. What are you talking to yourself like? What are you reading? What are you watching? Those three things especially, you need to kind of switch the mindset of stop being on autopilot and stop trying to escape what you need to beat, if that makes sense.
Yeah, stop running away from your fears, and it's time to face it. It's time to face who you really are,
That's it.
especially the darkest part of yourself, because any kind of self-love journey or self-development journey starts from learning, understanding, and accepting those parts of yourself that you hate the most.
100%. So what were the three that I've just mentioned? So you need to watch what you're consuming, get out of your head and into your body.
And cut the toxicity.
Cut the toxicity. They are definitely the three things that I would suggest to do for anyone that is wanting to change anything about their life, and not even just in the fact that you need to be the best possible version of yourself, you need to cut out everyone in your life. It's nothing to do with that. But if someone doesn't make you feel good, or a situation doesn't make you feel good, and you are trying to change that negative mindset that you have or the negativity around you, you've got to take that first step and change.
Yeah, but I guess cutting toxic people, just cutting people in general for the people pleaser, might be quite a journey. So that part of yourself that probably you've been running from the most is your people pleasing.
Yes.
How did you how did you even figure it out that I'm a people pleaser? Because everyone wants to be liked, everyone wants to be loved, everyone wants to be nice.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
I think the thing is, you're never going to be liked by everyone, ever. I obviously mentioning that I wanted to be an actress and kind of chasing the idea that I wanted fame. I always thought I can't be too opinionated because being a famous person, I'm going to get judged. So I don't want to be judged. I want everyone to like me, and I need to be level-headed. I can't be one-sided. I have to just be neutral in the middle. When actually, whether I got judged for something that I said, if fame ever did come into my life or not, I'd probably be judged for something else. So what is the point in trying to shun who I am and shrink who I am? Because when you are your true authentic self, the people that should be around you and your audience that you should have will just come to you anyway. So I feel like that's one thing that I definitely battled with, the idea of, oh, no, I don't want to be too opinionated. Like, I want everyone to like me. I want to be that happy Frankie that everyone loves and knows. And actually, it's never going to be that way, ever.
So first issue with the people pleasing is that that's literally what stops you from being authentic.
Yes.
Because you're not being true to yourself.
Yeah.
Is there any kind of situation in your life that comes into your mind as a good representation, good example of how people pleasing were leading you in the wrong direction? I mean, I can tell you mine because I'm quite a people pleaser with experience. Also, I had a tendency of kind of like buying friendship or deserving friendship. I almost gave my car to my best friend just for free.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
That's a big one. I think if anything, the one thing that probably springs to mind as being a people pleaser, it wasn't really an action that I would do to someone, or it was more kind of just agreeing for the sake of agreeing because I wouldn't want to offend someone. Like my friend, this is one actually. My friend showed me this really awful bikini and she was like, "What do you think of this?" And I was like, yeah, it's really nice. And instead of just being a good friend and being like, babe, you could find some way nicer than that, like that's awful, I didn't want to hurt her feelings because it sounded like she was really into it. And I was like, yeah, it's really nice. Whereas actually now I'd look back at that and I'd be like, put that down. You don't want that. So I think it's definitely more my people pleasing is more like, I don't want to offend people. I don't want to upset people. And I do think that that is partially because I was bullied in school as well. So I wanted to try and hold on to as many friendships as possible. Even going into adulthood, I still wanted to hold on to those friendships and hold on to those people. And I was scared if I offended someone or if I spoke my truth, that they'd be like, oh, I don't want to be friends with her anymore. Like, she's just horrible. She's just rude. When actually, people would appreciate having a good friend and an honest friend more. And now I am that honest friend and I do have a very small friendship group, but they are my best friends and they are people that I can turn to for anything and they know they can turn to me for anything now as well. But it's taken me a while to get to that. I'd probably even say the last 4 years I was still up to people pleasing. Maybe the past sort of 2 to 3 years I've really stepped into that. Actually, no, you're a shit person for doing that. And my friends would tell me about a situation, even with a guy, for example, and I'm not one of those yes friends now that's like, yeah, like, you should do that, like, you're single. I'm actually like, babe, no, that's gonna harm you and harm them. And it's taken me a while to get to that because, again, I never would have wanted to be that person to offend someone or give them my honest opinion. Whereas actually now, I don't care. The people that can't take the truth, because I was that person that couldn't take the truth. I was that person that I couldn't understand why somebody would be so horrible and so rude to me when I thought that I was great. Like the world was against me whenever that happened. Whereas now, being that person for someone else only helps myself as well. It's a huge thing having a good friend or even few friends around you that can be honest and aren't the people pleasers that some people kind of want in life. They want the yes women or man. And you shouldn't have those people around you all the time because you'll get into a lot of trouble.
It sounds like you got into the roots of the issue with the people pleasing, in your case specifically.
Yes.
That bullying that made you think that the world is cruel and people can hurt you made you decide that I'm not going to be one of them. So I'm not going to hurt anyone ever. And that developed the behavior of trying to be the best, the most likable version of yourself for everyone, which is impossible. Spoiler alert, right?
Because you're never going to be you.
Yeah.
Like, you might be liked by everyone, but who are you? Because you're one person to one person, you're another person, you're another version. You're just there's no solidification in who you are. So yeah, it was very draining.
Did you feel like you lost yourself at some point?
Hugely. And I didn't even know who I was. I didn't know who I was. God's honest truth. Like,
how does it feel? Because I believe that so many people just live in their life not even ever questioning, like, who am I? How does it feel of understanding that I am lost?
Understanding that you are lost is you're at a point of deciding where in life you are going to go. So like, if you are someone that is feeling lost and don't really know what to do, you don't have a purpose, you don't have anyone around you that's kind of a guidance, it's very lonely because you feel like you might have lots of people around you, but actually you're just on autopilot. You don't really, I would personally say that you wouldn't really feel anything. You wouldn't really feel attached to anything or motivated to do anything or even value yourself in a certain way because you don't really know who you are. Like, how do you know what value you have as a person and what you can bring to a relationship or even just friendships? How can you do any of those things when you don't know who you are and what boundaries you have as well? Like, you'll just be taken advantage of. There's so many things that could go wrong with being lost and not knowing who you are. And I think everyone needs not a sole purpose to say, oh, this is what I'm going to do. Like, I'm going to solve world hunger, like that kind of purpose. But I do think internally, you do need something to strive towards, whether that is being a good partner, whether that is being a good friend, whether that is feeling happy in yourself and pursuing your passions, that you need something inside of you, because if not, you're just kind of existing. And this is getting really deep. You are on this earth magically. Like, think of how you were born, what you were before you were even conceived. You are like I think it's like a billion chance or something that you are on this earth and living. You're just going to exist. Why would you want to do that?
It's easier.
I know. It's quite scary that people would think like that.
Yeah. I had this conversation with lots of people who's in self-development for years and decades. And I feel that we all sometimes just asking this question, wouldn't it be just easier if I wouldn't know all of this? If I wouldn't know who I really am, what's my purpose? Because once you know, if you are moving against that, it's self-betrayal and it hits you hard.
Yeah.
When you know your purpose and you're not following it, it hits you hard. But when you don't know nothing, when you live on autopilot and you just exist, there is no expectations. There is no pain of feeling that your potential is not revealed to the world, is not out there. So from some point it's easier, but it's like living your life on a minimum settings.
Yeah.
Receiving just the drops, the cramps of what can be.
Yeah.
And you said also a very interesting thing that when you're lost, you're kind of attracting not the healthiest relationship so far.
No.
Maybe you're attracting also people who would want to tell you who you are and how you should live.
Yeah, because you've got no idea who you should be. So I think you could definitely be taken advantage of a lot if you don't have your own mindset, maybe taken for granted.
Have you attracted that kind of partners or friends?
Yeah, definitely. And I do think that personally, if, like you said, having life on easy mode for people that aren't going to be striving to pursue their dreams or pursue their purpose, it's a nice, easy life, don't get me wrong, but I do feel like you might get to a certain point in your life in time where you are thinking, actually, I should have done that. And imagine living a life of regret. I think that's one thing that I'm very, very glad that I do everything that I set out to do. Even moving here to Bali, that in itself has been 2 years in the making. And I knew it. I knew what I was going to do. I knew that I was doing it. And I didn't know how. I was here 2 years ago just traveling. Obviously no job. But I just knew I needed to get from point A to point B. And that's what happened. But I think going back to me mentioning about the fame that I was potentially wanting to chase when I was younger, when you are kind of born with something inside you, when you know that you're different, you act differently. Like, I know that I'm not just here just to exist. I have a purpose. Maybe I don't fully know what that purpose is. Like, I might not even fully have that purpose yet in me, but I know that the universe does guide us in so many ways. Like, there's so many lessons and so many things that we experience to become the people that we are. And I think just existing, you're not even taking in the world around you. You're not even taking in the lessons.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think that everyone is on their own path, and it's winding everywhere. Like, there's no straight road to success or straight road to your purpose, or you'll never really understand. You just have to be present. You have to take it in. And I think the people that don't act on consciousness, the people that are in autopilot, that are kind of shrinking to just exist and live, will never understand that. You'll never understand the feeling of being conscious and breathing in the air and hearing the birds and actually thinking, do you know what, today I'm going to set out to do everything that I wanted to do, and everything that I've been putting off I'm going to do, because those people will just hide away from it. I couldn't imagine living like that.
I used to live like that, so yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it? And you look at how far we've both come in life, in business, just as people, and even the journey that we're still on. Like, there's still, I don't know everything, and I'd never ever think that I would. I love the person that I'm becoming, and I know we've spoken about this previously. You need to be happy with the journey of becoming. If you keep just thinking about that end goal that you're trying to achieve, or when I'm happy, when I've got X amount in the bank, I'll be happy. When I've moved to X country, I'll be happy. That's not true. It's everything leading up to that in the journey itself. Because when you actually get to point B, you're going to be like, right, okay, what's next?
The purpose is in the journey, not in the destination.
100%.
And it takes a while to understand that, and also like kind of accept this idea, because we were programmed to think differently and be more focused on the destination, on the end goal. But yeah, it takes a bit of a time to figure it out that the point is the journey. The whole point is to go through the journey.
It is.
So your transformation from the person whose destiny was kind of pre-programmed and pre-decided, through understanding that you're not here only to live on the autopilot and exist, what was your jump into the real world, into the real life? What was your jump of faith, maybe on some point, making a real step into your true self?
I'd probably say 2 key points happened for me. One was the university tutor.
Mm-hmm.
He flicked a switch in my brain
By telling that you're practically not that smart.
by basically saying to me, like, you're not intelligent. And I believed it. I've had ex-partners tell me that you're not intelligent, and I used to believe it. Whereas actually you get to a point where you think consciously, you're like, actually, of course I'm intelligent. But the first instance when the tutor said that to me, I realized that I was literally just living in a bubble. I had no idea what was going on in the outside world. I'd never read the news. And I know the news is depressing and you shouldn't read the news and listen to everything that's gospel, but even just having a small understanding about what is going on in the world. I mean, I'm not good at politics, but I still understand some things that are happening. But yeah, that was a big kind of switch for me, that I can't just live life just prancing along thinking that everything's just going to come to me and happen. Like, I want to be a woman of substance, not just known for like my looks. So yeah, that was a big turning point. I really started to delve deeper into everything about myself, about the world. And then my second was starting my business, definitely. So
Tell me about that business, babe. That's the time.
yeah, the second was starting my business. So when I was here back in Bali in 2022, I loved the lifestyle. Like, obviously we've got the beach on the doorstep, we've got coconuts wherever we want, and even just Mama Bali, the energy here, I feel that presence, and I felt it when I was here 2 years ago, and it's just a lifestyle that I really resonated with. And trying to be, more in my feminine energy now, I feel it even more. I feel what I attract, and I feel what's around me. But when I was here 2 years ago, obviously I didn't have a job. I was just here with savings. And when my traveling journey ended, I was like, right, I need to earn online and I need to be out there. Like that's what's got to happen. So towards the end of traveling, I was in Thailand and I was working a call center job, selling Green Chef meals, which is like pre-made planned meals. And I'm good at sales. So obviously I wasn't earning bad money, but I hated it, obviously, because I was working for a call center, yet again, just remotely. And then I saw on Instagram that an OF model was asking for an assistant for the hours of 12 a.m. till 6 a.m. UK times. Obviously, being in Thailand, the time zone was perfect. It was like 7 a.m. So I sent her a little message and I was like, hi, babe, what is this? And that was the first kind of time that I'd ever heard about this. I knew about OF. It had been around for a little while, but I never had any clue that girls were assisted with their pages. And she said, yeah, I'm looking for an assistant. So I was like, well, sign me up.
What is the assistant like? What kind of assistant?
So it varies depending on what the model needs, basically. So my agency, we provide management services for OF models. So it can be ranging anything from social media marketing to providing chatting services. So when I spoke to the model on Instagram, she said to me, oh, I'm starting up an agency. So you're going to be chatting for another model. So I was like, I'm going to be what? Like, I'm going to be doing what? So it's basically sexting.
For money.
Yeah. For money, getting paid. And you can work remotely. So obviously I was in Thailand at the time, but the job didn't start quick enough for me to be able to stay in Thailand. I had to fly back home. So I ended up landing back in England, quitting my Green Chef job straight away and working as a chat assistant for this OnlyFans girl. And I was earning a killing. Like I must have just taken to it really well because I was really good at it.
Like
And
what kind of money we're talking about?
I was definitely earning at least £400 to £500 a week. And that was huge for me, that someone that had literally just had no money, no savings. I'd just finished traveling. I was thinking to myself, like, what the F am I going to do? I've got no career. I can go back into sales if I wanted, but I don't want to be selling Green Chef meals. Or I could go back into a call center if I wanted. I could go back into hairdressing. I literally had so many avenues to do, but this was just literally calling me. I went, excuse the expression, balls to the wall. And I really went for it. So the girl that I was working for was American. She was amazing. She taught me so much. But the agency that I was working for previously, because their setup was they would train chat assistants and sell them to the model, whereas my setup is slightly different. So before I was handed off to this model, the girl that was running the agency was really, really bad. Like, she had no people skills, no time management skills. She was pretty rude. And I come from a customer service background. My first ever job was retail. So I'm really good at people. I'm really good at, obviously, like problem solving. I'm good at sales. And I turned around to my partner who I was with at the time and I was like, I could do this 10 times better. And he instantly said, do it. He was like, Frankie, you need to do this. He was like, you are going to be sat on a gold mine here. And that was it. I was working for the American model that I was working for, still doing my own chatting. And then I was approaching models on Instagram, telling them that I was going to double their earnings in the first month. I had no idea how. I'm not kidding.
Fake it till you make it, I guess.
This is literally it. And I found one girl. We don't manage her anymore. She's just on her own path now and not actually doing OF, but she believed in me. And I said to her, look, I'm going to double your earnings in the first month. She was like, okay. Like, I was like, really? That easy? Okay. So then it was just me and one other girl doing the chatting. We must have been doing like 20 hours a day between us every single day. But yeah, so she was earning 1.5k. We got her to 5k in the first month.
Wow.
So she was ecstatic. And so were we. Like, we were so happy. Like, and then I thought, actually, I don't even need to be doing this. I can just train someone to do it and I can still be earning the money. So then it started to snowball a little bit then, because as a female run agency, we wanted to provide the best service ever. Like, the biggest thing for us was helping women not be exploited and have the autonomy to make their own decisions and be able to make the content that they're comfortable with, not being forced to do things just for the sake of a couple of extra $100. So yeah, it became a very beautiful thing very quickly. But I got burnt out very quickly as well, because I was a one-woman band running a business, trying to do everything alongside trying to grow a team, trying to grow more models. And within the first year, I ended up nearly quitting. The first year was really hard for me. I got to the point where I couldn't pay my staff. The models' percentages were dropping and lowering, and the quality that I was providing just wasn't good enough. And I had to make a decision to get rid of all my staff. And my main assistant, Maria, who's still with me now, she even said to me, like, I know you'll come back. I'll be waiting. And I was like, I don't know, girl. Like, it's been hard. So I was at breaking point, my lowest point, around Christmas time, looking at sales jobs again. And again, my ex-partner was like, you're just going to give up. You're literally just going to give up. And I was like, I'm not giving up. Like, this is not me giving up. I can't do it. I was like, I've tried. I don't know what else to do. I can't do it. So I ended up stripping back the whole business and really thinking to myself, what am I good at? It was the chatting. I'm good at the chatting. All I need to do is find clients that just need chatting. I don't want to be doing the social media marketing. I don't want to be doing anything else. And I want to be providing the best service that we possibly can, because it's okay having all these models and having all these chat assistants. If you're providing a shit service, how are you going to keep clients? So I really, really stripped everything back, and I got a girl to run some ads on Telegram. And there was one model that messaged me. She was like, hi, I'm looking for like chat assistants. I was like, yeah, okay. I'll take X amount. I'll take this percentage. She was like, yeah, okay, that's fine. We got her from $10,000 to $20,000 in her first month. That was with me, and I think there was only three other people doing the chatting at that time. And then it just kind of snowballed again. But because I was being so selective with who it was that I was actually looking to manage, not just managing anyone, and being very selective in the team that I was building and the values that I was pushing into the company, it's just flourished. And now I'm here, and I'm so proud of what I've built. Oh my God, I'm gonna get a bit emotional.
Yeah.
I never
This business is your baby.
thought that. Oh my God.
It's okay.
This has been such a life-changing thing for me. Being that person that thought women weren't good in business, to building a company that I love and cherish and is still growing now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm so grateful for everyone that has stuck by me, my clients, even my family that believed in me. I had so much backlash when I first started, because it's a very controversial thing. OnlyFans, it's seen as something that is breaking society, but also fixing it for women especially. It's very controversial, and it's something that I will be judged for forever, even though I'm not even on the platform myself. Like, I'll be judged for helping girls better themselves and build their own businesses with my help. They are changing their lives. They're getting out of debt. They're moving across the world. These women are thriving just because it's classed as sex work and it's a degrading job. These women aren't being idolized for being business women. They're being looked down on just because they've chosen a different career path to someone else that doesn't understand it. And I do think it's difficult. Like, our main thing as an agency is to stop the exploitation and allow models to have fair management. We don't take stupidly ridiculous percentages. We don't overpromise and underdeliver. It's never been known for me, and I mean, touch wood, every single client that I have under management, I know for a fact that they would give me an amazing review, because I don't just help them with their pages. We're friends. Like, it's not just a business relationship. I help them personally. And I think as a woman, that is where business changes, because I will still be the business owner that I need to be. I will still be that person that will tell you straight if I need to now, because I'm not that people pleaser. But even having the opportunity to grow in an industry where women are thriving, it's so inspirational. It's pussy power. Like, it literally is. It literally is. And I think the biggest thing what people don't understand is women thrive when working together. I am your cheerleader. I am your therapist. I am everything that you need me to be. But I'm also that person that's going to say to you, look, I'm sorry you're not putting in the work and I can't keep you. Because I'm running a business. I'm still having to build this life. I'm still having to fund my own life. And there is that line where I can't help everyone if you're not going to help yourself. It starts with them. It starts with the model. My team can only do so much without that model's work. But when that model does work, like, we make miracles happen. It's crazy.
Amazing. I'm so grateful that you're saying so honestly about not only a female way of building business, but also a part when you were failing but still not giving up. And also about the controversy of the whole OnlyFans direction at the moment, because it can be controversial, but still it's there, it's present, it's existing, and it will keep existing, because I'm very deep into the topic right now with the whole changes in the generation. The generation of young men, which are slowly moving into being absolutely like people phobic, staying at home, closing themselves from society, closing themselves for personal relationship, they will be seeking emotional support through internet or any other things. This business will be existing in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that we can do is to make it the most serving, the most safe, and the most high quality provider of the services on the market.
Exactly. That is our job as an agency. And I agree with the point of the societal changes between men and women because of this platform. So we notice a lot of men on the page that we speak to are desperate for a connection. They're not just looking for porn. They are there to connect with the model. They don't have much experience speaking to women outside of their lives, really. They might speak to their moms, sisters, whatever, but a lot of them are quite introverted men that don't really get out much, and they'll see their dream girl online. And one of the things that we do, we don't just sell them content. We ask them how their day is. We would ask them how their holiday was. We know everything about these people. And I think what gets lost a little bit is the men are divided because of this. So there's men that are feeding into their addiction through porn and obviously buying the content and being the simp, as you could say. But there's also the men that are recognizing that they have an unhealthy habit and changing that, looking into the ego. So it has divided people a lot, actually, because some people are consciously recognizing that they're overusing the platform, and it is all about consumption. It is consumerism. So think about Coca-Cola. Like, Coca-Cola is not good for people. People say porn isn't good for people. Coca-Cola is widely sold everywhere.
No one is protesting Coca-Cola on the main streets.
No one
right?
is protesting Coca-Cola. And that's obviously just an example to use, but it's alcohol, for one. Like, alcohol is really bad for people. It's still allowed to be sold in stores everywhere, and I think it's consumerism that is the main thing. If you can healthily have that conversation and even recognize that about yourself, that you are overusing this to numb yourself from something else that you need to fix, then well done you. You've recognized that. You need to work on that. But if you are someone that, again, the autopilot people that are just living life, being addicted to this and going down that spiral, there needs to be something done for the men that want to change that. Because I feel like at the moment, it's the dividing kind of situation. But I do think one thing which is not really spoken about much, the porn industry was made for men by men. And now because a lot of women are profiting off it digitally, I feel like there's this huge uproar. But it was fine before, because men felt entitled. Men felt entitled that they could get it instantly, whereas now they're having to pay. I have to pay to see this. it's kind of switched the narrative of, no, you're not entitled to see my body and see me. I will profit from this. And that kind of mindset that women have taken their power back and taken the finances, and they are changing their lives. I mean, don't get me wrong, that I understand the statistics of this. So anyone that's in the comments saying not everyone earns on OF, I know this. This is why we are here as an agency, to try and help that stepping stone. But the thing is, the women that are earning are changing their lives. They're getting out of debt. They're leaving the relationships that they're not happy in. They're being able to fund their own lives, support their children, and it's putting women back in the power and into the position. And a lot of men are quite scared by that. They're being offended by it.
What is actually the statistics of your agency, for example? Are you accepting all the models? Are you seeing that there is a percentage of models that are succeeding, or there's someone who would never be successful based on their appearances or any other skills? What is the real picture of this?
If I am completely honest,
That's preferable.
this is what
That's
we
why
want.
we're here.
The complete honest situation. You can go on OF as anyone, but you do need to have a specific target audience to attract. You could be an OF model, whoever you are. You could be overweight, you could be underweight, you could be black, white, Asian, any kind of ethnicity, anything. But if you do not have a specific target audience that you are trying to attract, and you're just trying to be attracting anyone, you're not going to get that far. But I think one thing that people aren't understanding, the platform is so saturated that you need to be different. You can't just be posting slightly explicit content and expecting to earn a lot of money without a huge following. If you have a huge following and then you're going into that and you're only wanting to do, I don't know, tasteful nudes, for example, you can earn a lot of money because you've already got the following. But if you are someone that is building it from ground up, you need a game plan. Because you going into this aimlessly, mindlessly posting, you're going to lose a lot of time and a lot of money.
Honestly, what you're describing is the same with the life coaching. For real, like what I'm listening, and I believe that also pretty much any kind of service industry,
Yes.
you need to niche. You need
do.
to understand your niche. You need to, like, as a life coach, I also spent like a year just thinking that I can help pretty much everyone, which is slightly true, but only after some time I understood that there is a very specific kind of people, the entrepreneurs, the high achievers, the people with a crisis of meanings, burnout,
Yes.
and life crisis in general, that I can be most useful to. And I'm targeting these specific people, and with them I see the best results so far. So I believe, like, I mean, comparing OnlyFans and coaching, I'm probably the best, the first one who's doing that ever.
It's like you said, though, it's literally about the niche. It's niching, it's being specific, it's the target audience. It's sales. You need to get pain points. You need to find what people are looking for and fix it. And that's what you need to do as a model if you were joining the industry.
Yeah. And you also said that the sphere itself is controversial, and being a female entrepreneur, especially in this sphere, might be challenging, let's say.
Yeah.
Have you ever faced with some kind of criticism or judgment from a close circle, random strangers with opinions?
Yeah, a lot, because obviously I put my face out there on social media and I'll be making content to attract more clients, like, organically. I do get a lot of, not backlash as such, but I do get comments of, why are you kind of doing this? And the thing is, what people don't understand is I would never get someone that hasn't already had the idea to become an OnlyFans model.
Okay, so you're not converting just random girls into models. You're
No.
taking already someone who's in the business.
Or already decided that they want to do it. Like, we literally let them approach us. So if my ads, for example, or my content comes up on your For You page and you decide to message me, it's your choice.
It's your responsibility.
100%. But the main thing for us, as long as you are treated with pure respect, and the main thing that kind of worries me, a lot of women that do come to me for management have already had management, and it's like horror stories where you're hearing like the most disrespectful, disgusting exploitation, that you're actually thinking, wow, that's still ongoing.
Because I think it's important for someone who's a little bit delusional about this fear. Maybe
Mm.
some ladies who's considering, maybe some ladies who's already in the
Yep.
business and they are waiting for their moment of fame, right? What are the reality that you saw and heard?
I know of management agencies that have slept with their models, that have slept with their clients.
Hmm.
Like, you're not friends with benefits. you're meant to have a work relationship. Like, that to me is hugely concerning. So yeah, they're like the main things. There's a lot of things going on at the moment with some agencies, and this is not even just targeting male agencies, saying that females are better. The fact that some agencies decide that, I don't know, 6 months down the line, that they want to up the percentage for no apparent reason with no extra work being done, just because they know that they've kind of got the model where they want them to, again, is exploitation. I know that models have been forced into making content that they've not wanted to do for the extra cash because it's been sold to them that they're going to be making an extra X amount each month. Now, a lot of women that do turn to this work sometimes are in desperate scenarios, and they will think, well, I need the money, I'm going to do it. And you shouldn't be forced to do anything that you don't want to do, ever. It's really painful, as a woman especially, knowing that. I think about like my own family. Like, I've got my sister, I've got my mom. Like, if they were ever in that kind of situation, being forced to do anything that they didn't want to do just because of the idea that money was going to be more, it sickens me. And it's a horrible feeling knowing that women have to do that because they need to provide for themselves.
I think that's a part of the controversy of the whole topic and the whole business, because there is such a thin line between woman empowerment
Yep.
and being forced
Yep.
to serve and slave
Yes.
and satisfy someone else's desires.
There are some concerning statistics about underage girls getting onto the platform using fake IDs, and even that in itself is horrifying. That's not something that I would ever condone. But again, I'm in the industry, I know about it. All I can do is make my agency the safest possible way for people to earn and be managed. I can't change anything overnight. Trust me, I work so hard to make sure that women feel valued in our agency, and we do every single safety precaution to make sure that there's never anyone like that for us. But some people don't care. They don't have morals, and they will let those girls sign up to their agencies and make money from them, profit from them.
Absolutely. But I also think it's important to remember there's also male models on
Yep.
OF. And no one is saying, oh, poor man, they must be forced into this situation. Somehow in our head is like, men only can choose this way. They can't be forced by life circumstances, for example. So in the end of the day, I think it's important also to remember that our world is changing right now so fast with the whole movement of female empowerment. Like, there is more female in the government, in the universities. There's also statistics, like latest statistics from US, that the average woman in New York from 20s to 30s are making more than the average man. Then the picture changes because she started to have kids, and obviously career suffers. You can't have it all. But in the end of the day, our world is changing rapidly. So those kind of controversial businesses, they will be happening because it takes time to adjust. It takes time also to build this social organizations around it, to protect, to support those who need it. But in the end of the day, I believe that having options is always better than not having them at all.
Yes.
Because we all heard, like, just 50 years ago, a woman couldn't divorce a man because she wasn't unable to support herself financially and being alone, being on her own.
Mm-hmm.
So in the end of the day, having choice of not staying with the abusive person, not staying in life-threatening circumstances.
You're no one's property anymore. That's what marriage was. Marriage was being man's property. And now women aren't having to choose that or decide that life because they're not having to depend on them. So the men and women's roles in society from thousands of years ago historically has changed. I do agree with women kind of having the choice and being able to provide for themselves is fine. But I don't quite like the ideology at the moment that women don't need men, because we do need men, like for reproduction purposes especially, but we do need men in society. There is very happy, normal relationships out there that I feel like people are getting so lost in. There's a huge feminist spike at the moment, but I think that what people are forgetting about feminism is we're not saying that women are better than men. We're just wanting equality as humans. It's not about women being better or women not needing a man or being a radical feminist and hating men. Like, it's nothing to do with that. And I think OnlyFans is really, really kind of change the dynamic of this because women are earning and it is sex work. It's very, very different compared to your average kind of corporate job.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But also, that's another choice that someone can make to change their life.
That's it. I think as well, thinking about men and women in society because of OnlyFans, men are being slightly hypocritical because they'll watch porn but they won't date a girl that does OF. So I think in that kind of mindset and dynamic as well, that's changing. I think the statistic, and this could be wrong, 1 in 10 girls in America have got an OnlyFans.
I heard 1 of 11, actually.
Is it 1 of 11?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I was shocked. I was thinking that it's some kind of wrong information, something, because how?
Yes. But if you think about that and you are one of those men that wouldn't date a girl that's done OnlyFans or got a page or done any kind of sex work, your dating pool's going to get smaller and smaller, mate. Like, it's a bit of a shock. So I do think that in itself as well, men have boundaries. They can have their own boundaries. They might not want to see their women being showcased like that online, which is totally fine. But there are men out there that will want that and that don't mind that. And it's having that dynamic again where I do think majority of men that do watch porn can't have that opinion. You can't have the opinion of, I wouldn't date a girl that does OF, but I like to watch porn. It's just pure hypocrisy. But yeah, I do think that relationships could struggle, and I do think maybe potentially children in the future could struggle from the OnlyFans just because kids are horrible. Kids could be like, hi, this is your mom, and that can be quite distressing for families.
That can be cruel, for sure. But we only see what's going to happen in the future.
That's it.
At the moment, as you already said, like, what you can do as a person who's in the industry, providing services, is just to provide the best services you can and create the safe work conditions and a safe space for those who's already there. That's for sure.
That's it.
And also, I really, really appreciate you talking about you building your business in such a detail. I could put like the thumbnail, like how she built an OnlyFans company from scratch. Just watch this video and you can do the same. But interesting enough that on this podcast before, I had quite a lot of male entrepreneurs, and their mindset is very different from female entrepreneurs. And I'm also like absolutely interested in building a business like a woman, not like a absolutely obsessed, high achieving ADHD kind of male who's just keep running like a machine nonstop until he reached the point. But for women, it's different. We have lots of emotions together with that. I even feel like as a woman, building your own business is a separate healing journey you have to go through.
Hugely.
Yeah. What was your biggest maybe realizations throughout this whole business process?
Do you know who really helped me with growing my business is Layla Hormozy. Her podcast Build completely changed my perception of business. Before, I was really winging it, like literally just bumbling along each day, trying to think of what to do next, how to run this. I had no business background. I had no financial background.
Anyone in your family having a business?
Nope, no one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it was not wired in your mindset
No.
as a default setting.
Definitely not. So I think having that kind of skill set wasn't something that I had previously. But I just knew I was good with people and I could do my job good. So having to learn those skills and build that side of me was very, very different. But Layla Hormozy speaks a lot about fuck your mood, follow the plan. And that stuck with me a lot because as a woman, and this is no excuse, like I don't excuse my emotions, I don't excuse my period, I don't excuse my cycle, but you do have to maneuver yourself differently because we're wired differently, completely different to a man. So instead of, have you heard of, I actually don't know the name of the concept, but it's about reacting to something, but you've got to wait 7 minutes.
7 minutes, that's a lot.
7 minutes is a long time, but basically you've got like a car in your head, you've got 2 front seats, 2 back seats, and there's a chimp in there. And the chimp is sat in the back seat, letting the car run. But as soon as you react to something and you get triggered, that chimp climbs into the front seat and he's going to start driving the car. So 7 minutes is what gives your chimp time to calm down, sit back in the back seat, think logically, and answer. Whereas that's not what I was doing. For a very long time, I was not doing that. And I was acting on emotion. And I was reacting to things. If something went wrong in business, now I'm like, oh, it's okay. We can fix it. Like, how wrong, how bad is it? Give me a scale of 1 to 10. Tell me how bad it is. And I'm like, right, so we've got this option, this option, this option. And now I'm a decision maker. I have to be the decision maker because before you can't analyze and do nothing. You've just got to make a decision. If it's wrong, then shit, like you're just gonna have to carry on and change it. But before, I would react instantly to something, and then it'd be 5-10 minutes later and I'd be like, I shouldn't have reacted like that. And then it'd be dropping my ego and apologizing, which again is something that I've had to learn to do, because I'm never going to get it right all the time. And I still don't now. But having the ability as an adult to correct yourself, apologize, and fix it are the main things. Like, you're never ever going to get it right ever in life, all the time, ever. It's just not possible. So when you do have those moments of relapse where you're trying to work on something and you've just kind of fallen off a little bit, just come back up. But the 7 minutes thing really does help me. It might not even be a full 7 minutes, but I can't reply to something instantly if I'm like triggered or feeling a bit reactive, because I know that I'm probably going to say the wrong thing, and I need to fully understand the situation as well. I'd hear one thing from someone in business and then I'd hear one side from someone else, and I'd be like, right, we all need to get in a room together. Whereas before, I'd just listen to that one piece of information and I'd act on that, whereas actually it'd only be half of a story.
Yeah.
So I think definitely slowing down the pace has helped me a lot in business, and not growing too quickly, because I feel like first year that definitely happened to me. I grew very quickly, couldn't handle it, and then it all fell to shit. So yeah, the podcast of Layla Hormozi Build completely changed my perception of being a business owner and a woman in business, a female business owner. She is insane. Like, that woman is so inspirational to me. And I think as well, having that kind of mindset that it's okay, like if there's a problem, we can fix it, it's fine. Like, not running around like my head's on fire like a headless chicken thinking, oh my god, like it's never gonna be able to be fixed, that's it, the business is run to the ground, what am I gonna do? Like, it's really not that bad. Like, don't be that dramatic.
Yeah, I think it's very important that she's saying that there is a difference between male and female entrepreneurs. There is a difference, and I believe that you can build a business by following men's guidance and instructions. But generally, for most of us, especially for those of us who's in their feminine and they don't want to hustle
Yeah.
till death, they really want to find a balanced way of building a business, especially when it's around your purpose. You don't want to fuck it up, and you don't want to fuck up your mental, physical health
No.
on the way. I think it's important also to find someone who will give you that guidance into the world of entrepreneurship. A fellow woman who understands your cycle, who understands your emotional part, who understands what you're going through as a woman of the young age.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I do really love it. And the last question that I really want to ask you, it might be easy one, it might be hard one, depends on you. But
It's probably gonna be hard because I know you, Rita. But
no, I guess throughout your whole journey of transformation, you changed so much as a person, as a woman, as an entrepreneur. For anyone who are listening to you today and felt aligned with your story, what would be your biggest insight that can be a shortcut for someone else?
always be willing to learn. Like, you are not going to know everything instantly. And having that perfectionist mindset of, no, I know enough, I can do this, not willing to ask for help, and feeling like you can just do it all on your own sometimes isn't the best kind of mindset to have. Like, I do run my business on my own, but the people that I've got in my business that work with me, that help me every single day, I'd never be able to do it without them. So I do think, yeah, the biggest thing would be always be willing to be the student and learn from everything. Learn from your past self, learn from your mistakes, learn from other people, and let that be the guidance. Like, there's nothing wrong with taking inspiration from someone that is further ahead than you are. And I think a big thing as well is don't compare yourself. Like, huge kind of thing for me. If you compare yourself to people on Instagram, for example, you're only seeing their highlights. You're not seeing the real life. Nobody knew how bad my business was in the first year and how much I was struggling. I'd say actually first 6 months, great. Last 6 months of the year, shite. It was really bad. And nobody knew, because all I was doing was showing that I was this female boss and I was doing really well and I had all these clients, but nobody knew that I was drowning. So do not compare yourself to anyone. If anything, all you want to do is compare yourself to your past self and see how far you've come, and congratulate every small win, because no matter how far you've come, if you're not looking back, and that's not to look back and think, oh, I should still be there. That's to look back and be so grateful at how far you've come, that you know that the trajectory of your life is just going to keep going forward. You can't be that person that's just thinking that you know everything and not willing to change anything. Just because you've got certain ways that you do things doesn't mean it's the right way. And it doesn't mean that just by making small adjustments to yourself, your business, the people around you, isn't going to propel you forward. And I think that's a bit of a harsh truth for some people. They like to hold on and stay in the comfort zone. Stay where they know, no, it works this way. I'm scared of changing it because what if I lose it? Do you know what? If you lose it and you've already made it, you can make it all back.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like that's
I love it.
my little bit of advice for everyone.
I love it. That's a concentration of the experience of the young female entrepreneur. And I'm so grateful for you sharing your story today so honestly, so vulnerably, shedding a little bit of tears, even though you said you're not
I
gonna.
said I wasn't going to cry. I actually said I'm not going to cry.
Yeah, but I think at least one person needed to hear today, and
Good.
hopefully it will reach the right ears.
I think it will resonate with some people because I don't come from business. As I've mentioned, I don't come from business background. I don't even come from money. I was so unconsciously living, and I look at myself now and I love myself. Like, the I'm so excited for what the rest of my life is just going to be like, because here and now, and the people that I've got around me, it can change for anyone. I don't want anyone to think that their current situation is their forever, because it's not.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for this words today.
Thank you so much for having me. I have absolutely loved it.
Me too. Me too. And thank all of you for listening today. I really hope that this information reached the right ears, and I will very appreciate your comments, even hater comments. Like, throw it into me. I'm ready for everything.
Just don't target me. I've had enough.
So thank you so much. Follow the channel, ring the bell. Look forward for the next episodes with very special guests who's gonna share their story of transformation. Thank you so much. Have an amazing day. See ya.
Oof. Woo! Took me a little while to get into it, but I'm dying for a pee. Sorry, guys.
I'm gonna put it into post-production.